What is the best day to book travel or get cheap flights, right? Everybody thinks it's a Tuesday. Everybody is like, oh yeah, book on a Tuesday is the best day to book. But this article from Travel and Leisure is about to debunk that Tuesday myth. So let's find out. In the past, you could count on Tuesdays as the best day to book a great deal. However, that time has certainly passed, with airlines getting hip to the game. But that doesn't mean you can't ever find a great deal or great price on flights. The sweet spot is usually 1 to 3 months before a domestic trip and 2 to 6 months before an international trip. The founder and CEO of Dollar Flight Club shared. According to the CEO, airlines use dynamic pricing, so fares change constantly. But in those windows, you'll often find the best balance of availability and price before last-minute demand kicks in. So guys, 1 to 3 months before a domestic trip and 2 to 6 months before an international trip is the best time to book your flight. Henry Shellhot, the CEO of Flight Hub, I almost said Fight Club, agreed, noting that the 3 to 6 month timing is the sweet spot. Prices are constantly shifting with demand, competition, and the time of year, Shellhot said. This is why I always tell travelers it is better to set fare alerts and watch how prices move rather than trying to follow a single rule, which is very important too. Set those fare alerts whether you use Hopper or use Momondo. And these are websites that we've covered on the channel before. So if you guys are unaware of that, Google it for yourself, or you can search the channel for how to travel for cheap or at an affordable price, where I detail all the websites that I use. Need an even more specific date to book? Laura Lindsay, Skyscanner's global travel trend expert, had this to say. Finding a cheap flight is less about the day you book and more about how popular your flight is, since flights are priced based on supply and demand. I think we all kind of knew that. Skyscanner data from millions of flights bookings in the last year show the overall best time to book flights from the US is on average 23 weeks before departure.
Bruh.
I don't know if you guys are booking, planning your travel outside the US that far in advance. That's damn near 6 months. But that is what it is, man. That's the data. That's what the data shows. So according to all the flight pros, flying in the middle of the week provides the best deals. I think we knew that, right? If you didn't know, now you know. Saturdays can be interesting too, since most travelers would rather fly home on Sunday, he added. What I tell people is not to lock themselves into the idea that one day is always the cheapest. Try a few different options, because sometimes just moving your flight by a day can save you quite a bit. Yes, that's very, very important to point out. Newer Garden also stated that airlines tend to drop fares on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, as those days tend to have empty seats. So Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays are the magic days. Even shifting your flight by a day can mean saving 15 to 20%, he added. Here are 3 other experts' tips to snag an affordable flight. Go pro and try a split ticket. New Garden said if you are really dead set on finding the best deal possible, you could always try booking a split ticket. Instead of booking one round trip ticket, book 2 one-way tickets to separate legs on different airlines. That is a expert level tip. If y'all didn't know that, holy, if you're doing a price comparison with round trip and it's too expensive, see if you can book them separately and see if that's cheaper than booking a round trip. And you may be able to squeeze in an extra country. Like on the way back to the States from Vietnam, I have a 24-hour layover in South Korea, and I'm using that layover to visit South Korea. So that actually may be in your benefit to book 2 one-way flights. And if you're booking a round trip, you kind of have to depart and arrive at the same location. But if you book 2 one-ways, you can arrive in one country and leave from another back home. I think that's a W right there. So try alternative airports. Shellhot suggested that travelers look around for nearby secondary airports that may offer better deals. Looking at different airports, flight times, or even destinations you may not have considered can open up better deals, he shared. Traveling in shoulder seasons or less popular hours can also make a huge difference. So shoulder seasons are pretty much described as from high season and then that little layover period between high and low season is the shoulder season. So make sure you try to book your flights during then as well. And make sure you're getting the most out of any flight. Sometimes you just have to book that ticket no matter the cost. But that doesn't mean you can't make the price worth it. Choose airlines that still offer seat-back entertainment like Delta and some United flights. Newgarden said, having movies, TV shows, and flight maps right in front of you makes the experience far more enjoyable than relying solely on the phone or tablet, especially on long-haul flights where battery life and Wi-Fi can be hit or miss. That is a good tip as well, because a lot of airlines are getting rid of those backseat entertainments or the IFE, and they're making you stream from your phone or tablet, which is kind of crazy. You spend all this money and they can't even give you like a TV on the back of your seat. A lot of people may not even use it. Honestly, that's probably why they got rid of it, because people weren't even using it. So guys, let's take a break here. Let's make sure that we're subscribed to the channel and like the video as well, and hit the bell notification to make sure you are notified when I go live.